Hey Future Pros! Back on Nuke today, and I have another slick smoke to help you with your T-side. Playing Nuke can feel like hell, but with this heaven smoke, you'll be winning round after round. The first step to executing this smoke is to shoot out the back left skylights. Once done so, run along to silo and position yourself over this line. Aim just to the left of the second rail post and slightly above the roof. Find mouse 1 on your gaming mouse and then press it. And just like that, heaven will be perfectly smoked.
Now, as much as Rushley would like you to think otherwise, being a Future Pro is more than just watching videos. You can start your career as that pro, though, in the Mountain Dew League. The Mountain Dew League is giving amateurs a direct path into the ESL Pro League. Check it all out at esca.net/MDL. Now, coming up next is EnVyUs versus North. North, who played yesterday in the Danish derby against Australis and split the series 1-1. It's been roster mania at the moment, of course, and EnVyUs looking a little bit different. We'll have to see if it will be enough, though, to take down North, who have been very, very strong lately. Let's go over to the desk and find out.
Yes, thank you, Mitch. Welcome back to Pro League once again. We've got one more matchup for you. It's going to be EnVy versus North. But first, we have some kind of fun stuff. We kicked Henry off the desk, which was always, I mean, that's fun.
Physically.
Yeah. Hello, Lauren.
Hello. I didn't want to bring back up the worms thing, but now you've only got
but
one
you're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, you've only got one betrayer on it. No, I like to remind you guys.
All right.
Let's bring it back.
Cool.
Well, yeah, we'll move swiftly on from that before I get angry again.
Salty
and we'll go towards a rather cool discussion that was had on Twitter with some of the pros just the other day about some of the weapon balancing we have going on. Some thoughts, especially on the FAMAS.
Don't get me started, Jason.
Oh, you love a bit of these discussions, don't you, Chad?
This is just silly at this point.
We need a FAMAS upgrade very soon, Valve. We have one. It's called the UMP. Apparently, everyone other than Pimp prefers the UMP over FAMAS. And yeah, I mean, there's always going to be questions of weapon balancing, but at the moment, it certainly does feel that UMP is a little bit too strong. The FAMAS, even like you almost prefer a pistol over the FAMAS at this point.
Yeah, back like in Renegade's days, me and Azza had an argument that I said the FAMAS was pretty good. He said that he could beat me in a one-on-one only using an MP7. Now, I know I'm terrible. He did beat me. So that's not saying a lot. But that a player with as much skill as Azza saying that the FAMAS is nowhere near as good as an MP7 is ridiculous. In the sense of he is right. The FAMAS needs either a buff. The burst fire needs to be more accurate, so you can actually use it at range. You want to pick it up at range, right?
Yep.
And the UMP, let's maybe change the kill rewards of the weapons if you want to do something quickly. Give a FAMAS a $600 kill reward and the UMP a $300 kill reward. That's a quick fix, right? Because that way you're going to get more incentive for having the FAMAS. You're going to get more money. The UMP, we know it's a little bit OP.
Yeah.
Maybe
we've seen Flush do some magical things.
Give them less money for that weapon.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They get 2 kills. The value of the weapon is earned back. Ludicrous. You have an AWP.
You know what else would be fun to have the burst fire back in it would be the Glock. Some of that nostalgia. Bring that back.
I still do it.
I know, because you want it so bad.
I wish it was
if you believe enough.
It was like the best feeling in 1.6 was like when a Glock burst fire hits someone in the head.
Incredibly satisfying.
Just the best.
But let's, if we want to keep talking about weapons, CZ kill reward, make it 300.
Yep.
AWP kill reward, make it 300. It's the most, well, okay, arguably the most skilled weapon in the game. But you get an ace with an AWP, you get 50 to, is it 100?
It's 50, I think.
Is it 50?
I think so.
If I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a very good analyst. Yeah. You don't get much money for the kills. How ludicrous. I'm pretty sure it's 100.
Okay.
Could it be 50?
It could be 100.
I'll meet you halfway, 75.
We'll find Twitter. Yeah, 75 works.
Yeah.
Someone's going to tweet. We're going to move on away from the numbers. The other cool kind of thing that happened is obviously there was the update from Valve and Counter-Strike last night. The big changes coming to Nuke, the newest map added into the pool, or reintroduced back into the pool. Not the newest, sorry, second newest. But they do have some pretty cool updates on Nuke. Chad, I know you're a big fan of Nuke. Let's have you walk us through it.
I don't know which one we're going to start with here, but if we whack up the clip,
I think it's your decision which one to start with. We're putting it all in your hands.
Let's go with the outside change where they got rid of the 3 boxes near warehouse. Okay, so these 3 lovely boxes that were here before basically made it so there wasn't like a one-way for the AWPer to pick up to silo. now those boxes are gone, the AWPer can actually sit in warehouse and look through the grate of the catwalk and see the player on silo. And the player on silo is going to have a very rough time taking that duel. I don't know if we have a first-person view of that. No, we don't.
No, this is just...
Okay, so this is the hut change where they've actually thinned out that wall you can see in the middle of your screen right now. So you can actually get a better angle to pick up to the rafter. Lauren and I were playing around before, and now the Molotov can go so much deeper into hut, actually. So for the CTs, it's a positive as well. They can Molotov real deep into that hut. And this is the roller door and mini. It's been raised, so as a terrorist coming in to pick the rafters, you have a better line of sight right now. It seems a little bit more fair. You're not just going to get your feet, when they see your feet and just absolutely pepper you, you get an even duel in this scenario.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And I mean, that's one of the most nightmarish angles to try and find a kill in when you're in the bomb site. So these changes, you think going to have a positive effect? You think we're going to see maybe a little bit more tier CT sided?
The only one I don't like is the boxes being removed outside. It's an easy fix. I think you just have to make, you can see on the railing, there's a solid part. Just make that a little bit longer. No,
I think take it away.
A solid part.
Yeah, well, on the bottom of it, of the scaffolding piece almost. I don't know if you can see it on the game.
Probably not.
It's just like a really weird view. You don't get any benefit.
No, but if you make it, if you extend it, then no one can see through the grate, either direction.
Riveting discussion, guys. We're going to move on to EnVy versus North. Really,
well, I enjoy Counter-Strike, Jason. I don't know about you, but
obviously don't enjoy Counter-Strike. Listen, I'm getting the people in my ear saying, "Move along now."
The voices in your head, Jason. You need to lock them down, all right?
Yeah. So EnVy is going to be playing against North, and EnVy is the team doing better than G2, the super team that was created. EnVy was considered to have gotten the short end of the stick, but it doesn't seem that way at the moment.
Happened last time around with the French Shuffle as well, right? We were surprised. It was G2 back then, doing better than EnVy, who got Kenny and Apex. But this team, I think, they had some really good results based off Scream just going absolutely nuts, just carry performances, right? Happy seems to have diversified the way he plays. He's still doing his solo stuff, but he seems like he's more active in strategies from time to time, which is a good mix-up. And he has to be more of a carry factor, I think, so that also helps the way he plays the game. RPK, solid as usual. Sixer, we've seen some brilliance with the ore from him. Nothing consistent at this point. He might be able to grow into that, but I don't think he's going to be a superstar AWPer. And then XMS is just, I guess he's just a role player in the team, right? I see him doing some entry stuff from time to time. Yeah. He's doing his job, so
yeah, and he's actually been pretty diligent at it as well. You look at, he was a name that went under the kind of radar in comparison to all the other big changes, of course, but he's stepped in and held his own to a degree, statistically doing perfectly fine. He's not excelling, but he's holding his own in the role he's been given. It's
kind of cool with some of the struggles of these French teams. I mean, that part's not cool, but it is cool to see that some of the players from the lower French scene have gotten chances now. We've seen Bada, we've seen Devil, now we're seeing XMS get a chance in the big leagues. Sixer back into it. I mean, this is just kind of a cool necessity that has been required out of some of their struggles. They're going up against North, Lauren, and Chad has that brilliant thought that Astralis has beaten North and Heroic now on Nuke.
Is this fake?
Yeah, I mean, but North has to be considered the second best Danish team, and definitely even on Nuke, the second best team on Nuke.
Yeah, they are outstanding at it. They're very, very good. We saw the struggles yesterday. Astralis looked good, but it wasn't an easy one for either side. But North, yeah, they're going from strength to strength. I feel it's waiting to see how well does AZ fit in. We saw Cajun B having a game that we didn't expect before. He really went above what we normally put the category towards him on, especially on Overpass. Maybe proving a point. First time he got to play against his ex-team, really, since he joined these guys, and they went to the bigger form that they've been able to hit. But yeah, North has huge potential. Nuke seemed to fit them very, very well as of late, and adding it to the map pool quite drastically for themselves. And I think these changes are going to only encourage what they like to do. You saw those aggressive hits. You saw Magisk loves to plow through, loves that aggressive play. He can now get peeking towards rafters very early on. If that CT side doesn't get money, it could be quite harsh.
I'm glad to hear you talk about Magisk's aggression, because Chad has wanted to talk about that for some time. We've got a little video.
Yeah, this is just 2 little clips. There's nothing too exciting, but basically, Magisk is really good at pushing out Squeaky Door, uses this nade and the smoke as cover. This was last night against Astralis. He was able to find Dupree on multiple occasions. We just have two of the things right now, but the way that he can exploit that position, get down the vent, force rotations, it's really good to see someone able to do this time and time again and be a master, of that position. So the way that he plays the Squeaky Door role is very good to see. He's going to do it again. Get this, right? So, Dupree's like, oh, has he pushed out into the smoke again? Let's have a little look here. Check the way he picks this line. This is just, he just knows what he's looking for every time. And you are dead.
And then one thing I love about this is that he's killing the guy who does it for Astralis on their T side.
Yeah.
Dupree's the guy who goes Squeaky. So you're having this nice little mind game between the two, both knowing how it feels to be in that position, how to make the other incredibly uncomfortable, and Magisk obviously being incredibly good at it during this one.
Yeah, and he had a brilliant game yesterday on this map, even in a loss against Astralis. And the other thing we saw is on the CT side, just as aggressive. We highlighted in the post game yesterday that those ramp pushes at times.
I was watching back the demo this afternoon, and the way that he, the ramp, he did that aggression from time to time, but most of his kills he was finding while rotating back to help. And that's one of the hardest things to do, right? As a player who would always play a swing position, it's so hard going into an environment where your teammates have either just been completely wiped out, or you have to come in and fill a hole quickly and the T's already have ground and make kills. He does it so well. That's something, that I definitely admire in a player.
Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of impact kills that we talk about. That can't really be counted how much of an impact they have, especially considering the ramp room player. His two options to rotate if that upper bomb set is lost is through vents, massive disadvantage, and up the ladder, which is also a massive disadvantage. So, massive player he is for this North team. But what are we expecting out of EnVy? Because I think actually, even when G2 has played this map, or the old G2, the roster before this kind of shuffle, surprisingly they had some pretty good games on it, despite no one really expecting them to be a strong Nuke team. But I mean, you still have to think that there's a lot of talent on this, a lot of places for Happy to lurk. RPK as a rock can really find some way to lock down sites.
The old way that Happy used to do it on this map was everyone else would go and take ground, like Apex and stuff, and Kenny would go push through smokes in yard, and then Happy would always late lurk like hut or squeaky, and it was terrible because there's only there are two small choke points, right?
Yeah.
What he needs to do is be an aggressive lurker. He needs to take the territory. He needs to be the one getting into secret. He needs to be the one getting down the vent, and then he can lurk because they're going to come to him, and he can just take as long as he wants. He doesn't have to do anything once he takes that territory. He just has to take that initial risk because he is a great lurker. He's an amazing player. I just think that's the mix-up we need to see from them. I don't know. I think they've had one Nuke result, and they lost
Big.
on it. But
they won against Big, but it was like 16-14.
Okay, so
it wasn't
really
a clean
close.
game.
Yeah, but this is, I think, when Scream was still a stand-in, right?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Quote,
so
unquote.
we don't know where they're at right now,
Brilliant.
but I think this is the surprising thing about EnVy, right? We don't know what to expect, and they could have a lot of cool executes to come out of the bag.
Yeah, will be interesting. And always the question with these guys is how big is Stream going to go and how effective is Happy's looks going to be? And to take us through finding out all of those interesting answers, we have Henry and Sadikist.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're here. We're ready. It's going to be North. It's going to be EnVy.
Certainly
Do you
is.
envy anything about the new EnVy?
I'm not sure I envy anything about them. I kind of like the look of the new team right now. I think they're looking quite promising. We've only seen them in Pro League so far. I haven't seen them at the LAN. That's obviously going to be the final testing ground for them. But so far, it's a nice upward trajectory. They seem to be getting better and better.
There's a lot of new teams. The big name teams, obviously, we saw their roster changes. They've gone to events. There's a lot of teams that were on the other side of the roster because we've yet to see on LAN. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Sports being one of them. G2 yet to play a big LAN, to be fair, although we've seen enough of them and people have been critical. EnVy, definitely want to wait and see what they're actually capable of with Happy still on board that side of the roster. Yeah, there's some interesting storylines there.
Well, we saw North play against Astralis yesterday. It was a bit of a mixed bag. They actually dropped a Nuke as well, so that was kind of interesting. But we'll see what happens here against EnVyUs. How do we feel EnVyUs is going to be preparing for this? Like, obviously, they've had a bit of time now. The roster's been together maybe about a month, I would say, with Scream joining. Maybe a little bit less than that. But they know this map's coming up, and historically, it was a decent map for EnVyUs, and we'll see whether they can actually step up here against North. Probably one of their best maps, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. I think the Danish teams in general, heroic as well. It seems like Nuke is Danish territory right now. Yeah,
absolutely. Major Boy, especially on the T side, as Chad was pointing out, that was one of the things I was loving yesterday. That squeaky door play he's got is amazing. But let's get into it then, shall we? The Superman buy has come in, Matt. We said that was kind of dying out. There's some interesting buys there. Deagle for AZ, and then the Superman bifurcation. That suggests an upper rush, usually maybe towards ramp as well. MSL will be holding up towards that area. In terms of the CT setup, nothing too aggressive as of yet. We have got a smoke to work with that might be used towards the main entrance position, or maybe save for the lower plant. We'll see what they decide to do as MSL holds up for any CTs pushing into his crosshair.
This doorway is going to open at some point in time, but it's Cajun, not Magisk on the other side of it. Scream, back vent, more and more players using this to their advantage. You can't play the rafters above on this side of the door. I know it seems obvious at this point. Without the second vent, it also means they limit themselves quite heavily on that position on the floor. I'm surprised so many players love it, actually, because of that reason.
So the idea here is right now, AZ's gone all in with the Deagle buy. He's going to try and work a pick here, challenge the USPs towards that outside area. That's why his teammates are waiting for, to see if he can get some information, maybe a kill. That'd be fantastic. But look how passive this is from Happy. He's actually holding up on the right-hand side of Garage there. Not necessarily facing him, getting much for his team, just stopping them getting towards Heaven right now. And this could be to his downfall. Look at the timing. He hears a footstep. That's AZ. So now this kill becomes very important. It's going to be AZ going down. Happy actually picks up the frag, and that should cue for his teammates to go towards ramp at this point.
Should do. Sixer gets to Turnpike. That's going to be enough for the rotation back off. MSL, meanwhile, has got to be a bit careful trying to cover off toward the hut. So to Scream, they get inside the window. Con picks up the first kill, and RPK will back it off. Define config, that buys them space, and QXMS. He's another player in this lineup, by the way, that I'm curious to see more of.
Sure.
Saw a bit of him, the whole Devodek thing, XMS. You know, we're talking about Denmark right now, and the amount of depth they have in their scene. We talked about it in Sweden for a while. The French scene's got an equal amount. They just didn't ever really get a chance to showcase.
Yeah, poor old ODOC just keep getting wrecked in every French shuffle. They lose their star players every time. They just get themselves out of a promising position.
Well, there was also Millennium, but they had Fixio, so they couldn't do anything. They couldn't go to any of the major events.
He couldn't actually attend because of his ban, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's going to be a little force buy here from North. They've got one player down towards the vents, Major's boy. He did this yesterday. We'll see if it works out. His teammates going towards Secret. They're trying to do a lower split at this point. The idea of Major's position, fortunately, he's only got 10 HP. He's designed to stop rotations coming towards that vent area and force him to come from ramp or Secret, which is what they're trying to do right now.
Sixers plays the window, packs it, but the tags. That actually cost him so much. Little shot in the ass, suddenly the legs don't work. He gets slowed down, they're able to track him out. But Happy comes back around to take control of the control room with the UMP. 2 kills for him, looking for a third, hug the wall. He's got low HP on Magisk. It should be pretty straightforward as well, considering he has the bomb, but he's just got to be careful that he doesn't go down too soon before his teammates get in position, which they now are. Good headshot onto screen, but he gets the kill, and he can afford to back off with 2-man advantage inside of the site. They're fine.
Yeah, this is just a case of bleeding them out now. So it was quite an interesting approach from North, like getting one player towards a vent, running that position. Now that we only have one vent map, obviously in the old iteration you had 2 vents either side, that wasn't really a viable choice. You had to drop down to vents, then get out straight away because you couldn't watch both angles, right? But now you can actually viably hold that position and stop rotation from the CT side. But when you've got 10 HP and a PT50, it's not really going to last too long there. His teammates go towards outside. He get down Secret. No bomb plant comes in. Happy saves the day coming from that window room position. So we go into the third round here. Nothing really to report. North and just Glocks and 1 PT50. This should be quite a clean-cut round. Majors does not make it on the bench. I was about to say he's about to actually get a plant down there. Maybe. That'd be fantastic. But RPK and Happy denied that possibility. That's going to be the round over. And they get a couple of kills. That'd be something. But Happy's continuing his good form here. Lots of money farmed from him in the last few rounds. Yes, he gets 5 in the last 2. So plenty of money for him. You can see he's only got $10,000. This is certainly bonus round kind of territory right now for the CTs. They have 2 UMPs, an MP9, and a FAMA. So that would suggest maybe something aggressive towards ramp, get the first pick, maybe 3 players to outside, a boost, something like that. Just something a little bit different going up against these AKs now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much we're going to see of that small change outside tonight. Ooh, Scream.
They got rid of an MP9 just to note. Upgraded to an MP4. That's probably a good idea. 3 outside. This is the adjustment. So you can go aggressive, get the first pick.
Ooh, that's very aggressive. XMS gets 2.
Works.
And RPK goes around the corner. Scream finding 1 as well. That's taking the fight to North. That's going to set something in their mind.
Like I said, those kind of rounds, you've got SMGs left over. It's a bit of a Hail Mary. You're not expecting to win it, but if you can, you're in such an amazing position there. 3 players towards outside. XMS lines 2 of them out the FAMAS. Not really much the fallen teammates of North can do at that point. It's such a... so much chaos going on towards that area that is running into the crosshairs of EnVyUs. They didn't expect that call at all. Like I said, in my opinion, that's kind of obvious. You're going to be waiting for that aggression to come in those sort of rounds, but they get shut down there. It's going to be 4 versus 1. Make it a 4 versus 0 as RPK finds the final kill with the AK-47. They'll be upgrading to full rifles here. Happy still has a UMP. He's fine to stay on that weapon. And we're interested to see in terms of the AWPing on this map for EnVyUs especially. It's rumored now that 6 is going to be the main AWP for this team. I'm not sure that's cemented right now. Obviously, Happy can AWP as well, but 6 in 1.6. He was a very prolific AWPer, actually one of the best in France. So I'm interested to see whether he can actually go back to that role fully and be as good as he was in other games.
That's one of the things we say about a lot of players. I think there could be...
If you think about like Markelov, right? That's probably the prime example.
Thorn just did a video on that, if I'm not mistaken. Or I think he did.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, I saw a topic come up. I didn't have time to watch it. I think maybe even been this morning that I saw it. But Sixer, got to be there, exactly that. Careful, because they're starting to get position on him where they'll have shots with the pistol Scream. Low HP already, and decides to take that... I think he was trying to get utility that was already down toward outer where his teammate had died, but didn't even consider the windows.
Yeah, well, this round is starting to fall apart. Just Deagles and no armor purchase for North. They managed to find 3 kills here without dropping a single player. Up to RPK and XMS, though. No bomb planet as of yet. There's still some work here to do from the Danes. As they're looking to get towards upper potentially, but RPK in that strong position towards upper, backed up by XMS now. Makes sense to stick together, take a bit of a gamble here. If they go towards the upper site, you're in great position, but doesn't have a headshot. XMS goes down to 26 HP, and that should be the cue now for the rest of the terrorists to go towards upper. They trade successfully. Round should be concluded at this point. XMS gets another frag, but KGB finishes it off, and that's the way North enter the game, apparently. Deagles, no armor, no nades, towards outside. The Danish Deagles are something to behold now. We see across these teams, like, all these teams have similarities, like Heroic, Astralis, etc., and North especially, very good at the Desert Eagles. Seems to be a trend in Denmark. And they managed to pick up that first round. So EnVyUs now will pick up the AWP. Sixer. This is what I'm interested to see, how this develops. I thought he was a really solid rifler before. And whether he can continue this sort of form. Like, he was just getting to the point where I was actually really respecting him as a player and the way he actually approached situations. Now he's getting to an AWP role. That changes everything.
Definitely changes everything. The point I was going to make, too, you mentioned the Markelov instance, but I think there's a lot more content that could be done about players from 1.6 who may have translated well into Go players who maybe quit too soon. I know we've had discussions about this in the green room, or players that are not really peaking as you would have expected.
Prime example of that.
Yeah, I think RPK has done fairly well. I didn't expect him to come back at the same level he was at. Oh, that second shot, they've already got one, and a leg shot now in MSL just to get them jumping back across into safety. But yeah, I think there's more to discover on that topic.
Well, if we get a pause time, we'll go into the reasoning behind that. But for now, 5-on-3 is going to be MSL down to 24 HP as well. So those opening picks coming in, it's going to be EnVyUs running away with this round. Nothing gathered for North whatsoever. Scream looking to finish things off as well. Very clean round there from North, from EnVyUs, I should say. And North going to be fully reset at that point. You win one round. It was an eco, to be fair, so there should be some residual cash. You can see AZ's got 5,200. Not really enough to buy. He could drop some Deagles, Tech 9s, maybe that'd be about it. But EnVyUs looking very good at the moment. We'll have a look if they buy anything. So there's an AK from AZ. Very talented player. This looks like a full investment, to be fair. I'll have a look at the final money left over. So 1,500 on Cajun. AZ about the same. 0 on MSL and Magisk and Config. So this is a pretty much all-in force buy. Happy towards outside this time. I think Sixer has changed his position, getting towards ramp. That's quite common these days. Shows a presence towards outside or upper, then go towards ramp. But Scream goes down first. Once again, these pistols doing work, and it's Magisk boy towards Squeaky Door. As Chad pointed out, he's excellent in this position, and he finds that first kill.
Bait switch position toward radios. They get more and more aggressive. That's going to be the invitation, though, to get fully aggressive. And that is, whoa, I was going to say a kill redressed. It's not. Magisk comes back out with the AK, finds the flank, takes them down, and MSL's got a deagle shot onto Happy. So, North can be broken all they want. But again, with odd weapons, they have a position here to find a round. And we know North's good on this map. So they're basically, this is what we used to say about classic Fnatic, the 7 win in a row current lineup, but back when they were at the top, is that in games like this, if you even gave them a little bit, they would find a way to win it. They would take everything. You had to be perfect. They're giving North a lot of opportunities to get back into this game.
Absolutely. So the 2 rounds they've picked up so far have been off pretty weak pistol buys here. Magisk boy, what an amazing round that was. 3 kills, one of which is a complete 180 of a player that had him dead to rights. He turned around, finishes him as well, kicks things off with the Tech 9 towards Squeaky Door, finds a kill in Hut. RPK maybe a bit aggressive at that point. Yes, they've lost a man advantage. Is it worth taking the close-range duel? You have such an advantage in terms of being up in the rafters. Players have to commit to the upper site. He gives another kill back in return. Sixer trying to desperately hold on to his AWP at this point. It's going to be KGB that goes down. They run towards T-spawn. That smoke will kind of help him out a little bit. The incendiary will slow them down a bit more. The smoke's not great, but he should be fine. I say that with bated breath, though, as Config's on the hunt. So the incendiary does do the job in the end.
Yeah, smoke was abysmal.
Yeah.
Incendiary was great. I think he meant to bounce it off the gate with a low throw so it would cover the whole thing, and he just missed it because he was running.
Okay, then. Well, it's North to find a second round against all odds. There it is. 4% on hands of 6 though. He saves their weapons, so they can still buy into this round. Still a ton of money for Happy. He got so many UMP kills before. As we enter round number 8. I want to see a round picked up with the AKs, to be fair, from North. That'd be nice. And we'll see. This will be more the same, I think. Just just to go towards Squeaky Door. He kills everyone there. So we'll see what he can do. Six is back towards outside. Flashed off for now, but not fully. So he will be committing. And you can see the terrorist is trying to bait out a shot from him right now just to work out whether he's there.
Sixer will get smoked off. This is the new angle. Doesn't elect to sit and try and utilize it. Instead, he wants to cover outside directly. Small vision. Big shot. Big gun to do it with. Ooh, flashed off, though. Gets left in the open. Sixer. That would have been nice to see, because he responded. He was looking almost at the ground when Config found that first shot. He stays alive to find yet another as well. And Scream will fight back up to the top of the stairs. So once again, guns come out for North, and they do worse off than the fast pace by which they use the pistols. And you got to start to consider where North looks on the map, because they're not getting into ramp. They're playing very aggressive toward ramp, Envy. Outside, it's been 50-50, but they're not getting the map control there, so...
Shut down again.
Hot executions? Yeah. That is quite nice, actually.
I want to see how he got the second kill. This would be super close range. Nice little no scope there. I'm maybe in a quick scope, depending on Go TV delay there, but still, it's round number 9, and North will be fully investing once again. And why not, to be fair, Matt? They have picked up 2 rounds with weaker buys than this before. So smoke towards outside from MSL, and the AWP this time is going to be towards the top of the ladder. I like this position, makes sense. Mage's boy, he's out of squeaky door once again, though. Looking to cause chaos, spots a player, but he gets flashed off.
Just gets inside of his doorway, but trying to cover the hut as he always does. The pistols.
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it says something about the play style North is taking when they have these guns. It's not done this time just yet. Down to a 2 versus 2. Sixers still on the op. But they've got rifles down below, and bomb, is it planted or not? Cajun now has confirmation that they will be Molotov back, so he smokes off main entrance. That's the next most likely place by which they'll try and retake the site. And they will commit to the upper position. And you gotta think North with the guns try and just bust onto the upper site with the same style when they get them up next round, because that's where they seem to be having the greatest success. They know the obligations they want. They know the roles they want. We saw Magisk still trying to cover off hut with his teammates covering off the upper site, and this time it's going to work. They get the crossfire set up at the post plant. They get yet another round. All 3 of them have been force buys.
Yeah, that's actually kind of insane. One of them, to be fair, was just Deagle's no armor, no nades. So this is a very strange game of CS so far. It's quite difficult to analyze when that's going down. But yeah, I kind of agree. If those rounds are working out so promisingly, just pistols, why not use the same playstyle, keep it fast and loose towards outside, and just use your aims to overwhelm the CTs. The problem is you don't have the same run and gun potential with the AK-47s. That's what seems to be working for the safe at the moment. But they are going fast, Matt, as we kind of just speculated. It's working the pistols. Let's give it a go now with the AKs. Happy. I like this position. That's kind of new. I haven't seen anyone play like that before. That's actually really cool. It's a kill from it as well.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I knew that spot was actually really good, but I thought it was to the corner.
Yeah.
I never thought to peek that way with it. That's pretty neat. Thank you, Happy, for being so innovative.
Yeah, that's really cool.
They know he's there. They're trying to just get flashes as deep as possible so they'll take some vision from him and cause them confusion, perhaps panic, trip over himself and leave himself in the open, but so far so good. He's not done so. That's a little bit better. But Happy's prepared, has the smoke, deploys it. Oh, does he see him above? Sees him in certainty as he fires up. The Cajun goes down, Happy walks out. 3 kills in the round from him, all playing one spot. That's how powerful it really is. That's how hard it is to distill. Now, you gotta think that Valve, they put that there so you could jump back up onto the catwalk. Is that spot going to be suddenly, I think as more and more people start to use it, it's situational.
Yeah, he's playing there, right? And if there's a single smoke, that position's like useless at that point. Like he was taking a bit of a gamble there.
That's true, if they wall it off.
Yeah, so that's when it's not so strong. But that sort of scenario, they're going a little bit dry and just use one smoke towards garage. It looks very good indeed, and that works very nicely. And we're going to see another force buy from North, Matt. Why not? It's been working. Let's get the Tech 9 to Deagles. Made his boy towards Squeaky Door, trying to make that first pick happen. I don't think anyone will be on the hut at this point. Stay away from him. Let him do his thing. And don't give him that first frag. We've got to win one of these rounds, though, EnVyUs. As Mage's boy makes it towards defense, like I said, they're allowing him to have some control here, which is fine for now. He has not got the bomb, so Happy defensive once again. Gets a little headshot there, but he might go down.
Backing off, little lob nade toward the front entrance. Oh, no. But they're in again, and the pistols open up once more. Bomb plant to commit. 12 HP for MSL, has to be a little bit careful. 2 players spotted coming out of secret, though. They now know they have confidence. Sixers having trouble hitting the shots in the upper side, I will say. Outside, he's up close. I can't say up close because he's had some outside up close. And outside, in general, he's been decent, but Magisk.
It's happening.
That's another one. Another gun picked up. Sixer can't get this angle. Every time he comes back up for a retake, he's really struggling to get a shot with the op.
Yeah, they're going to save weapons at this point. So there it is. North find their 4th round, down to just pistols there. Keep it fast, find that first pick, and it seems to fall apart. It's always RPK that seems to go down first or second.
Good point.
And he's not really fragging anything in return. It's kind of strange to watch that. Like, you feel like he's got a huge advantage there, right? He's got a call, they're in towards lobby, they're coming towards upper. You're always guaranteed, right? They've got to find you. You're the defensive side. Like, he shouldn't be going down about a single frag every single time. But the thing is, EnVyUs keep their rifles up once again. They'll be able to buy up into this round, and they've been shutting North down every single time. No one's, in the last, let me have a look. 7 rounds, no one's strung like 2 rounds together as of yet. It's just been so back and forth, and the 4 rounds North have all been down to pistols. Then they get shut down and win a round after that. Kind of insane, really. Not a usual game for CS, this one.
Yeah, it's not at all. But it says something, though. analytically, it says something just about the speed and the confidence of the pistols. Look, now, finally, they've got a bit to work with at ramp. This they've not had with guns, and it's always been the rotations from that position that shut them down. Scream again will find MSL at Turnpike. That will leave the bomb awkwardly dropped toward the ramp room. They've got to go back to grab that as well. That's the perfect kill. If he's going to get one of the two players that bypassed him, that's the one you want, because look at the complications that it creates. RPK is able to swing back through from the lobby, and bomb remains in his control. 2 HP from Magisk. If bomb gets to lower where the first two players got past Scream, it's already planted.
Well then, Magus Boy with 2 HP, like he said. Chips it down. Odds are against him. And he has to come from lower as well. RPK will notice his possibility. Right now, he's going to keep fixated on that bomb. As long as that's there, he's got the advantage. But he has no idea where Magus Boy is. That's what the young Dane has working in his favor. He's coming from the ramp now. No nades to come in with. He's going to come down to some brutal aim. And Magus Boy has got bucket loads of it.
Bucket loads. But there's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza.
Then fix it. I think that's the way it goes, isn't it?
With what? With straw, etc., etc. Pretty straightforward. No straw could fix Magisk there.
Indeed.
Stitched up like a scarecrow. Maybe that's the only straw.
Stitched up like a scarecrow. That classic saying. It's going to be 8-4 now. Mages there. He had his hope the timing's going to work in his favor. RPK obviously had a lot to watch, but he had a vision of the bomb. Just keep watching that bomb. You're going to be fine at some point, and he manages to hit the shot. So once again, North with the rifle shut down. They will be force buying, of course. Why not? It's working every single time, so just keep doing it. 8-4 as we enter round number 13 here. 3 Tech 9s, 1 AK, KHB on the UMP as well. And Mages Boy's been such a menace, and he's going to have another player on top of him. Surely not, please.
He loves that, as Chad called it, the line.
So what he does is okay, this is good. Shut him down. We know he's there. Pincer him, kill him, get rid of him. And
but look at how much space it's given them elsewhere.
It's fine. They have to man advantage now, right? They still have to plan. The Scream's got position on the lower side. This should be okay. I say that.
Yeah, I'm holding, my breath right now. Jump through, Scream. I'll let you finish because my breath's still held. Sixer.
Oh, no.
You can't, where's Peter from HLTV?
Go on.
Where is he? He's got to tell us what the statistic is for most amount of force buy wins in a single game is.
Depends what you define as a force buy, whether you had that stat.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. That's fair. But the fact that all of the rounds that they've won already have been where they've not been the.
I guess you could do it if they entered the round with 3 pistols.
I would even say some SMGs because that's like it's not a non-optimal. Yeah, it is tough to quantify that. Consider it's circumstantial.
Because they've had AKs a couple of times. This round they had an AK and a UMP and 3 Tech 9s. Yeah, it's difficult to work that out. But still, they managed to make it work. They actually lost the first frag there. It was quite a nice play from EnVyUs. Okay, there's one player towards lobby to shut him down. We've pushed towards ramp. Pins to him, they've got him. But you're absolutely right. Outside is completely open. At that point, the Tech 9, the close range weaponry gets towards lower, overwhelms the CTs one by one, and it's just going to be poor old Sixer now. No AWP this time. He's going to have a full array of utility to work with, but 3 players to find. It's incendiary dropped. That gives away his position, unfortunately, and it's a real tight choke point to try and get out of that one. So I think he'll just be saving his M4 at this stage. Maybe try and find an AWP. I don't think there is one down, to my knowledge. Maybe he upgraded or downgraded, whichever way you look at it.
So it's going to go 8-5. You know what I miss? The boost diffuse from lower to upper.
Okay, was that possible in CSGO?
I think at one point it was, and they instantly patched
I know you could wallbang from upper to lower. Like I remember in 1.6.
Anders had one in Theorycraft too. You can do it from Squeaky. I think it still exists.
You could boost like here in source, and you could diffuse.
I like how you're saying here.
I'm just showing you. We're just having a private conversation, on a live broadcast.
Outside of control room on the railing. I think most people have seen the Pub Masters where they do it.
That's true. Well, that's going to be another round for North. And, of course, it's the force buy victory for them. That has shut down, finally, the money of EnVyUs, though. So a chance for North to maybe finish off this half 8-7. There's going to be a force buy in return from EnVyUs here. So 5-7s, CZs, and a Desert Eagle. They've got a smoke and 2 flashbangs, no kits. In terms of how you win these rounds, it's a very interesting question. I would say maybe stack upper, maybe one player to aggressive towards ramp, try and get a 1 Looks like they're going quite standard at this point. Nothing really to report in that manner. RPK towards upper, XMS at ramp. A little crossfire ramp, but you can see North are very aware this is going to be eco territory now. They've whistled them down. This last exchange, the last like 8 rounds have been insane.
So MSL takes a different approach to hold off lobby this time. Slower pace from North yet again. And finally, EnVyUs is the one with the pistols, which means they should win, based on how this game's gone.
We'll see. So the bomb's still down. They will just be feeling out towards ramp. You can see Major's boy leading that progression. He's going to fall back slightly, though. The bomb's heading towards outside. So probably quite standard play here. You can see they still have 5 smokes. They haven't really given anything away just yet. Just waiting to see if they can get intel as to whether they've got pistols or maybe a scout, some SMGs. They haven't really spotted anyone yet. So contact play. This is exactly why we call it contact play. You're walking like this until you spot a CT. And at that point, as soon as you get spotted or find contact, that's when you're exploding to your final destination. So Happy is waiting in that same position, though. But look, Matt, you said it was such a great spot, but he has no vision. But this is where it gets interesting.
Yep.
Okay, seems to be a little bit aware.
Yep. Yeah, I guess in situations it's very OP, but it's situational indeed. North, they'll wrap around, take control of Heaven, and make this an 8-6 game. So it looked very good for EnVyUs at 5-1, considering the money. But then, like we said, they were giving North every opportunity back into the game, and now they are firmly, you should say, as well. And Scream's got an AK picked up to carry over. That'll benefit them going into round 15. But if I'm not mistaken, the money's still going to be fairly limited. It's only going to be 1 round worth of income in the lost round bonus.
Yeah, so 1,900 into the next
it'll be 2
round.
now, I guess, sorry.
Yeah. So they get an AK and $1,900 on top of what you can see on the Scream right now. So Scream, he can maybe drop like a FAMAS over. And if 6 saves is 5-7, he's got that. He can maybe get a mag 7. It's not going to be great, and this is looking very likely now to be 8-7. In favor of EnVyUs still, but it's been a really bizarre game of CS. It's a bit of a nightmare as an analyst to tell you what exactly went wrong. I would say the lack of fragging ability from RBK in the upper site with his challenge against the pistols, never finding a single kill, being overwhelmed every single time. Some interesting ideas from North, like 1 player towards lobby, showing that presence from Major's boy from the squeaky door area, then 4 outside. The CT setup from EnVyUs has been a bit of a mixed bag overall. The outside position not really controlled that heavily. Relying on Happy to play that air conditioning unit and just try and patrol it by himself, get information, but as soon as the smokes go down, he loses that bit of intel for himself. But still, here's the buy. AKs, UMPs, 5-7s, and smokes towards outside. North know they have a massive advantage here. KHMB's got the AWP, so they should be slowing things right down. They can boost over the smokes maybe if they wanted to.
The smokes they're going to use to go inward. Different team, different variation. Wall of smoke down. Some will throw wide on big garage and then wrap toward main. They've gone with vision toward garage, hoping that it's left open. And Happy has gotten there, but he's outside with a 5-7 of all weapons. Smokes are gone. He can see through and see them all, but this is my point. 5-7. Oh, that works. That's very clever. That puts them all off. The pistol can do the damage. Unfortunately, he doesn't find both. But that's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah, soften them up a little bit.
Yeah. Take down that craggy exterior.
Well, they do have a chance in this round now. 4-on-3. AZ and Config are low HP as well. Last round of the half, everyone has to go for it. No saving this time. And Cajun, he's towards main entrance, trying to find an opening pick here for his team. What's going to happen? He has to pull back to the Tech 9. Gets the all back out. The 6 are there. Stand up once more.
Pick up from XMS. He's got another. He's got the bomb as well. 9-6 to Envy. They'll close the last one, considering they were the ones without the ideal weapons. But Envy could have come out, I think, a lot better off, considering the pace of North. They were quite good with the pistols, as we mentioned, getting 5 rounds with less than what they were worth, potentially.
Yeah, a very strange half of Counter-Strike indeed, but an exciting one. The pistols always deliver in CSGO. We're going to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. We'll see how Nuke concludes after the break.
So 9-6 on Nuke. I say that's a Danish map, but it was French territory for a lot of this. They never gave up the lead, but they did certainly make it interesting for us. We'll see if they can convert it. I think Envy, I have to say, I've got some subtle joy for this team. I won't say it's pure joy, but I'll say subtle joy because they've got Sixer on the op that looks promising. Happy seems to be giving himself a bit more freedom in this structure, and XMS I'm quietly confident about.
Yeah, me too. Like the lineup overall, it seems to be getting better and better. Like I said in the pre-game, it's an upward trajectory so far. They've got some decent results. Only seen them online, of course. It's difficult to really kind of paint a picture as to where we think they'll be going at LAN events, but it's looking okay. We'll get into the second half right now. It's going to be 9-6 in favor of the French side on Nuke here. They switch over to T side. They're going to have 3 sets of armor. No strange buy. Remember, we saw Tech9 armor and a Deagle in the first half. I'm not sure I particularly agree with that buy, but we'll see what they decide to do here. Scream's got a PT-50 and a smoke and a flashbang. We'll see where this leads. It will be going towards lobby. So no outside smoke going to be used. Maybe towards ramp to take away from vision from the CTs here, but Major's boy's waiting for them, and he's very good in this position.
Just is waiting, but he's gonna have to wait a little longer. They get there, you know, commit, doesn't spot the cross. P2000 for Magisk as well. I do always point that out because not many players still elect to use that instead. I certainly don't. I think it sounds like a little cracker can firework thing that you pull at Christmas time at the table, but that's a better shot than the table because Cajun, he's got 2 shots in the USP. Immediate rotation onto Turnpike. That'll slow things down. Bomb will be re-grabbed by RPK, and Happy's now going to open things up for them instead. That's not going to happen. This should be fairly straightforward, but we'll see if RPK can pull one back. A fast one on them. Not even. Easy's there.
Well, shut down towards ramp. A bit of a lackluster approach there from EnVyUs, I have to say. Didn't really bring much towards the ramp. It's a very tight shape when you get out. You want to maybe be throwing flashbangs, trying to overwhelm the CTs, get the refrags going. Didn't really work out for them at all. So it's going to be North picking up the second half pistol here. They should tie things up at 9-9, but it's going to be a force back from EnVyUs. They're also very good with the Tech9s and Deagles. So it's always going to be a problematic round. It's never a foregone conclusion. And no nades on the T side of Nuke. That's a bit of a problem in my opinion. I don't see many of these rounds working out. But Happy towards Squeaky Door. Trying to work with the Deagle, and he closes it behind him. It's bright. As he gets Molotov out. Trying to give himself a little hole to work with here. That's quite clever.
Easy. This sits above to see down inside of that hole. Scream will get outside instead. Does pretty decent damage. Config, by the way, that's not a UMP, considering he was one of the ones. I take that back. It was Magisk, I think, that tweeted about it. I can't remember.
No, Config did.
It was Config.
Yep.
That's right, at the top of the hour. That's right.
Yeah, he said he needs
Config's good on Twitter.
And he's been, especially this evening. Not
Yeah,
bad.
he's doing great. He's learned from me, perhaps.
Yeah, you're the master, so...
Well, Thorin's the master.
Yeah, true.
But it is 4 HP for Magisk and 8 and 13, excuse me, for Config. So perhaps Config still favors the FAMAS at range to some extent because he is playing the most open position on the map. Cajun's going to come over to help him because he can't afford to peek or get aggressive on the peek. Cajun does spot 1, but they didn't see Sixer. So he has a chance if he can swing in and line up a headshot immediately on peek to catch them off. It wasn't a headshot, but the aim punch a factor. Easy catches off as he tries to push through, and thankfully he's the next to be there because look at the HP.
Yeah, got a bit rough there, but EnVyUs, once they got that damage inflicted, they lost 2 players, no nades, they were separated as well. It's going to be a very difficult round to pick up at that point. Not going to happen, and it should be a full eco for EnVyUs here. Maybe 1 PT-50, not even that by the look of things. Someone always checks one in at the end. There it is, Scream. Only you can resist. He picks up the PT-50, so does XMS, and maybe just a rush, try and get the bomb down vents. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, hope for the best here. RPA's got the best spawn. He's not going to be rushing. Just gets himself in a safe position. A little nifty jump off that ladder. And MSL, MP7 towards an idyllic weapon for this situation. Unarmored T's with blocks in front of you. Farm some cash. See where it works out for him. He spots a couple. Decent nade goes in as well. Does a lot of damage. Hasn't found a kill as of yet.
MSL backs off. AZ. He's going to wait to see if they'll push through. Magisk is going to do the same, though, coming in from ramp. They aren't expecting it. Finds the kill, drops bomb down, and it's Happy. Left versus 5. Surprisingly, didn't get spotted in the corner of, Secret. I think AZ realizes, whoops, How dare you try and trick me?
Tries to use the old Glock burst fire. Not
Yeah, that's
really
fun.
a thing in CSGO anymore.
I did that in a headshot pistol-only DM the other day just to see if it was like, you could spam it
So
from the
you-
headshot server just to see if I could troll, and it's brutal.
Do you remember how OP the Glock used to be, though?
Dude,
Like
like 2012?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
insane.
You couldn't win a pistol round on the CD side ever because the Glock was a running one-bullet machine gun. Like, it just
Burst fire was insane too.
Yeah, like it used to be so sick. Like, it was so satisfying to use. But now it's like, I think the balance is quite nice, but the burst fire could use some adjustment. But
Yeah, I think the good shot config, reads that well, backs off, gets, I was going to say gets away with it. He was just about to the point where he could have wrapped back inside of the door, but AZ will find the next. Cajun doesn't need to do much with the AWP, and it'll send Happy elsewhere. Pick up from Sixer, though, as he walks through. That's Magisk's angle, makes it work. Oh, goes for the bomb plant, though. Why? They hadn't yet cleared the site. That
that
means
was a very strange decision.
there's no rush. A minute and 20?
Yeah, he hadn't cleared the site himself, let alone had backup from his teammates. They were smoked out of hut. That didn't really make sense. I think it would have been carried away. The fact he thought he got him killed, and he thought, okay, that's going to be it. I'll quickly plant before they have a chance to do anything about it, but he hadn't cleared the site. Bit of a risk, didn't work out for him. Now it's a 2 versus 1. XMS does get the bomb down towards low. He has a smoke and flashbang to work with here. Where's he going to use his smoke? He's decides to throw it towards the window room door. And it goes down, unfortunately for him. It's made his boy to find that final frag. But that was a weird play from Six, I have to say. You could see the mentality, as I just explained. Get one kill, you assume that's it. Quick plant comes in, teammates were there ready. But if he waited 5 more seconds, just hold position and make sure there's no rotation coming in, he could have backup, at least got the refrag, but he takes himself out of the round. It takes 4 seconds with that bomb down. You can't pull a weapon out at that point. So, strange decision to decide to do that, but it's going to be North finding the 4-0 here on the CD side, and indeed take the lead as well, 10-9. Still money available though for EnVyUs. Force they lost bonus means you get $2,900. On top of that, you get $100 on the bomb being planted. So that's fine. But Cajun B, very good on this map. He's got the AWP himself. And we'll see whether he goes towards that side. That would make a lot of sense at this point. Somebody's had it. Let's see what he can do.
Okay. Does actually. All right, I thought based on the bullet and a bit of the reaction, that he didn't land that. Just to go back to the Glock point. I don't know if you'd increase the accuracy on the 3 bullets or just the recovery time for the recoil between each individual burst.
I think the spread is too far from the bullets right now. I think they need to be tighter, and it'd be okay.
Okay.
That's it. It just feels like it's a bit too wild right now. Like you can aim on them and burst, and nothing connects. It's really strange.
I'll give you credit on that. Magisk finds 2 and a 3rd. That is so clean. As he leaves the bomb, and he's going to Molotov that off. Forget about it. I mean, Happy's so far removed from this. 1 versus 5. North now rolling on their CT side. Happy will get 1. But then drops down and meets 2. 2 will do for North. 11-9.
That's why picking up an AK-47, that's why most CTs would do that, because it means you can take angles like that and be a lot more aggressive. Obviously, with the M4A4, it's going to take 2 shots to the head to take on players. Very difficult to get multiple kills in those sort of scenarios. You're just watching very tight angles where you have to get the headshots and dink people. So maybe just a player like him, in the form he's in right now, he's got 16 kills. Great showing yesterday as well. Gets an AK. Confident to stay there a little bit longer than one kill, which is normally what I suggest is like the maximum you should stay. Ramp room, you get 1 kill, you get the man advantage, you stay alive. Don't let them trade, but he goes against the grain there and manages to pick up 3 kills in total. That was actually very, very sick from him, I have to say. That's quite rare to see kills like that coming in towards the ramp area. And he nails it. So that was a little buy there from EnVyUs. Let's just enjoy this, shall we? The 3rd kill was pretty beautiful. It's a bit of a lackluster approach from EnVyUs to try and take ramp. Like, they're walking in 1 by 1 at that point. They're just hoping they don't get spotted. They haven't dropped a single smoke to the left-hand side to eradicate a risk. Haven't flashed at all. Just walking in, hoping that someone gets the refrag. This get completely out-aimed. And they go into round number 6. This will be a tactical pause from North. They have about $3,500 average. So that means they can get AK, sure, they wouldn't have head armor. They get Galils and Tech 9s. It's just going to be a bit of a rough buy overall. That's why I'll take the pause at this point. Work out what's worth it. So Envy, bit of a rough position right now. They are currently 5-0 down on the terrorist side. The intense music comes back in to build the tension, the dread.
Well, this gives us a chance, Henry.
What do you want to talk about? We're going to say
we're going to do the 1.6.
Oh, there you go.
Who's your top 1.6 player not around today?
Can we do source
and
as well?
I don't want it to be someone like Heaton, or yeah, it could be Source as well. I don't want it to be someone who's still active in the scene. I want it to be someone who just vanished that you think.
I think, okay, because I was a Source player, it's easier for me to relate to that.
Sure.
The Danish scene, seeing that's so relevant right now, I think the best player that ever came out of Denmark in terms of Source, like he played with all the guys on the sub right now, Cajun, and all the other guys, and Astralis as well. There's a guy called Once, you probably have heard of him.
I have heard of him.
He was like disgustingly talented.
He tried to make a comeback though?
Yeah, it was announced and rumored he was going to do it, but it never happened. And it was such a shame. Like, he's such an amazing natural talent. One of the scariest players I ever faced ever. Like, next to maybe Shoxy and RPK, but he was like, that was probably the biggest shame for me that he never came over. I think a lot of the Danish scene would agree with that.
Yeah, that's think of the players. But thinking right now, not much to think about. It's all written for you in the top right. There is one kill back from Scream, but Cajun sits in wait, doesn't buy the shoulder bait, and Magisk will take down Happy to close it out. So 12-9, gun to come up this time after the timeout, though. We'll see what they can actually string together. They've got a decent amount of money to work with. Chad the other day made the suggestion that on T side of Nuke, you don't buy an op, and I tend to agree with that. There are situations at Outers, so even though they've got the money, yeah, okay, they do it. They go with 5 AKs.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of playstyle you're going with there, right? If you're going to be using the smoke towards outside and you're going to be taking vision away from the CTs anyway, by the time you actually get a chance to use it, like, you don't really have vision of the CTs. It depends. Like, if you have a plan, you know where the CT AWP is playing from, you want to try and pick him nice and early, sure. But I would say I agree with Chad on that one. I think 5 AKs is a little more effective, especially when the bomb's down as well. The AWP's very difficult to maneuver on this map. But this is the new angle right now. Just to point out, those 3 boxes on top of the blue crate in front of you, they were actually removed. So it means the CT AWP has a bit more vision. I'm yet to see how that actually goes down. No one's really tried that angle out as of yet. But here we go, EnVyUs. Towards outside, the smoke's been deployed. Cajun B loses his vision, so he'll be falling back. And Config, I think he's in towards Secret. So he's ready to challenge, but he gets Molotov down.
Cajun, no vision, wants to find something. Down below, they've got an M4 in position. Keep it locked on Config, because that's where the action's going to be. Good find. XMS spotted, taken down. Config needs to make sure. I was going to say, if he swung all the way to the corner, he can get back and control the peak, but only one more to find. He gets that. No further threat. The attention goes over toward Ramp. They've made it into the site. Good shot from Scream. He's known for it.
Yeah.
But now he's got to find 3 more, and low HP can't do it. 13-9 now for North, and I think that's 7 in a row.
Yes, the scoreline is 7-0, and you can see a little replay here. Config, he got Molotov'd out, repositioned, fell back to a deeper line here, and manages to mow them down with his M4A4. Great work from him. And it's going to be another buy now. This is getting a bit desperate for EnVyUs. So they get the AWP out on the 6 ashore, but it's going to be that glass cannon. Means he has no armor, means he's very vulnerable now to the M4s. They do have it's a relatively decent buy. They get 5 smokes, only 1 Molotov, 4 AKs and an AWP. Let's see whether they can actually find a pick here. He's Happy, tries to work something towards Squeaky Door once again, trying to to that hole in the door once more. 1 more bullet should do it, I believe. There it is. And he's just seeing if anything's available to him. They are aware that's a possibility. Some shots get fired in return. So a much different approach to what Mages does. Mages will always use the HE at the start of the round to take that door out. EnVyUs wants to puncture a little hole and see if any CDs walk into his crosshair.
Config with a chance to spot up towards Silo, but it's Magisk again that's going to have to face the challenge. Very off-angle to play with the headshot box.
Yeah.
In fact, not even going for the headshot at all. He's left himself slightly open. They're not going to predict that at all. Good pick. Able to drop down immediately. Flash off, and that brings Cajun immediately back into the fold.
You'd have thought they'd learn their lesson around at this point, but apparently not. Another 2 kills going in favor of North. Didn't really have to break a sweat there. That was classic play for him. Mages there, get the 1 kill, drop down, gets a flashbang in as well. His teammate rotates in just as the flashbang goes off, pick up another frag, job done. No one needs to commit anymore. Let them have ramp, if anything, that's absolutely fine. As you just control the bomb sites at this point, but Mages, he recovers it, in fact, and drops the smoke. This is so good. There's only 30 seconds remaining. What can they even do at this point? Did he just save? Did he say, we can't even do anything with this round? So I think they are. They're going back towards T-spawn map. This is an absolute nightmare for Team EnVyUs. What an amazing play from Mages, though. Dropping that smoke, it might just seem like a really small detail, but the fact there's 30 seconds, that's where they wanted to go, doesn't mean they have to stay. They have no choice there. It's not a frag, but he locks them out of the round. Really intelligent play from him. So then, the investment of the AWP doesn't amount to anything, really, not even a single kill. They run out of time. They're towards T-spawn. They might be hunted here. Config thinks about it, but decides to play the safer bet here. You know what? This makes a lot of sense, right? Because the Ts who remain, they save through weapons, right? But they don't get any money for this round. So they can't drop anything to their teammates. The teammates coming into this round only get $3,400 with no bomb plant. So it was baiting them into a buy, which is really unfavorable towards them. Sixer can't get armor once more, so they have to get Deagles, Tech 9s. Scream hasn't purchased anything. Okay, but late buy with the Deagle and armor. But you can see how this is looking pretty grim right now, and they're very, very close to match point.
So Happy tries to spray into the door to suggest that he's there and give them something to fire back at and get a read, but Sixer opens up on Cajun. So just after we finish talking about when and how you might try and utilize an AWP at the outer position, he shows us exactly what it's worth.
Well, at this point, he has to challenge, right? He has to step up. The AWP normally has a lot of pressure on their shoulders to find something with the map, and it's going to be XMS to reply. The Deagle's starting to do something now. It's going to be the first round for EnVyUs. Should be.
Should be. First round on the T side. As it's been all North. 8 rounds in a row. Config still trying to pull this back as a 1 versus 4. First on XMS, but then he gets told to shut up by RPK.
He certainly does, and it will be round number 10, and EnVyUs picking up their first round here in the second half. The scoreline's actually 8-1 now. It's a rough round, but Sixer delivers the goods with the opening pick towards Cajun B. As we get into this one, I was going to say, was there any sort of adjustment? They get a nice full buy. The terrorists get the AKs and the grenades and the AWP still, with some armor for Sixer as well. That always helps. And Cajun with the AWP, and I'll see where he's going. It's always interesting to follow his footsteps towards outside. Look for that first pick. Flashbang's not super effective. And Config to back him up this time. This is a bit of an adjustment and doesn't really work out. Screen gets the first kill.
Tries to find one Cajun. Success as well. That was partly due to the new angle. Flash through on the cell. No trouble reading that. Second one wouldn't have blinded him anyway. Look where it landed.
Yeah.
It just
Get out of there.
realize, that they're there. I thought he was going to take another peek, so that's actually good. That he doesn't. The problem is he's gone early and Cajun not yet in position. Still finds a kill, but he has the up-close angle of exactly that. XMS who challenges and wins it. That'll give them the space they need if they want to go down below. Unfortunately, they aren't quite in position to rush down the ramp. And that means Magisk is still waiting. And he's getting more confident to start looking about getting back in position as well.
Yeah, that's a really key frag.
Back in position.
It's a really key frag from XMS there. Like the shots being fired by Cajun, you've got like a 2-second window at that point to get that refrag. He gets it just in time. If he goes down, the round's over. But now it's a 3-on-2 in favor of EnVyUs. 40 seconds remaining as well. Just seeing if any CT makes a mistake at this point. XMS though towards upper. AZ primed and ready to actually take this one down. Finds the first and the second as well. That could be it as Happy now left in a horrible position. 2 versus 1. Does not have the bomb.
Does not have the bomb at all. Is Happy.
Gets in now.
He's going to get down in below. Now he's got a chance. Molotov behind him. Yep. No chance to chase. Secures the plant at the very least. And now they'll head down below. Fake. Yep. And in behind dark spot. Does he get there in time though? Oh, this is going to be tight. They actually go. So X-Ray misled me. I thought they were going to peek that. They go behind it. So now they'll confirm that he's 100% not inside of the room which he faked toward.
He has to challenge with the first frag here. The fact is, if he lets him touch the bomb, they're going to refrag him. And okay, Happy, that actually gets gifted to you. That's a bit surprising from AZ. At least he has information now, Majors.
Yeah, why does AZ jump down facing that way? He's facing a box. At least jump down looking into the corner where he is, because he's got Magisk as well. And Envy get yet another round 2 in a row, finally, for them on the T side.
That was really weird. I thought they were going to come out the door together. That would make a lot more sense than jumping down, facing a box. It didn't really make any sense, but they still have money to buy into this round, but EnVyUs pull one back. I thought AZ had done enough in this round. This play, especially from the hut, looked like he shut it down, but Happy, he steps up. Nice incendiary as he got down the vent, and a double AWP set up on Nuke. Okay then, well, crazy things have happened, but it's very unlikely. If the bomb goes down towards lower, you're just not retaking it. It's not going to happen. So difficult. One of the most notoriously hard bomb sites to take over anyway, regardless if you have an AWP or not. And we'll see where this works out for them. Config towards outside. I assume Cajun's a ramp. He is indeed. And Config now. He is a secondary AWP, not necessarily fully comfortable with the weapon, but he can wield it time to time.
Thought about it. Yep. Config starts to get a little bit more curious as well. There is a bit of activity toward lobby as they look to get set above it as well with smokes. Hello, future pros. I think Rushley showed us a nice smoke from up here today. RPK showing us how not to jump.
There we go.
Tanks aren't meant to jump, Henry.
It's true.
Imagine they could. Whew, how much more deadly would they be? They're already amphibious. MSL, though, with all those windows going down, has called for a bit of support. They're not going to get that direction, though. So they strengthen the upper bomb site. It weakens ramp. Cajun's late there, has to go back, misses the opening shot, heads to heaven instead. They've got to rotate down from the vents. And Secret. And even though they're there and the vents are blown out, Scream's closer. That's easy. Ducks under the barrel of the AWP. Sixer, press, oh, okay. My mistake, it was a lag on our end. RPK's got the shot above him, though. I thought he wasn't planting, but he was. As Cajun is now the last alive. If Envy fighting back, maybe they just needed to get momentum. They just needed to find their form.
Well, apparently so. They've actually going to get 3 rounds in a row now. That's actually to break the money for North as well. So going towards lower very quickly, we saw Scream jumping in the vents. That double up setup, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you saw what a nightmare that is, trying to retake a site when you have no real mobility, you're dropping in the vents, you're like a turret, it's like, hopefully they walk into my crosshair, they come close range, I'm done for. And Scream, he capitalizes, takes down config. It's just application being able to save the AWP itself. That's why I don't really agree with the double AWP setup on Nuke. It's very expensive, A, and B, if anything happens to you in terms of the bomb getting down towards lower, like it did just then, you can't really do anything about it. So a pause comes in, this will be for North this time. No idle zone. It's pretty good. Fits in the shot quite nicely as well.
No idle zone. Yeah, don't leave your car running outside. It's bad for, obviously, the reason they're doing that is it's bad for the environment to pollute it. You know, it is a nuclear reactor after all, so it would be terrible for you to corrupt and pollute the environment with your exhaust.
It's true. Well, at least they're thinking about the animals. Anyway, it's going to be round number 12. The pause comes in. North looking spectacular on the second half, but EnVyUs have come back to life here 3 rounds in a row. They go into this one. The buy is available for North. They have 1 AWP for Cajun. Config, he's on the Famous and 3 M4s. It's a relatively decent buy here. But we'll see whether EnVyUs can actually get 1 step closer to tying this up. North is looking for that match point at this stage. And it's been to round number 12. They do have 5 AK-47s, no AWP on 6 at this time, which is absolutely fine. And I'm sure North will be more comfortable with just a single AWP setup this time as well. Change of pace for looks things up a rush, maybe. Here we go.
He's got 1. But Easy only gets 1. MSL gets the same amount, and now Envy busting in, full of confidence and exuberance, and going straight up to that girl at the bar they couldn't win over before, because now they are taking her home. It's another round looking in their favor. Low HP, though, for Sixer and RPK. As that RPK does go down, there's still a chance in it for North.
Yeah, following up a rush at this point. Down towards lower we go. It's going to be Cajun B smoked out. Is this even viable now? I think they have to back off. Like I said before, the lower bomb site's so difficult to retake, especially when you have terrorists to find. And you have to go for those very tight choke points, especially when you smoked out as well. So the upper rush works out for EnVyUs. Just to point out, if you haven't been watching CS the last 3 months, maybe you just joined in. This version of Nuke was recently updated, so you can actually HE grenade out that door now, the squeaky door, and make rushes a lot more viable. I said that was going to be the most interesting thing when I saw the patch notes of this change. I thought upper rush is now a thing again on Nuke, and they're actually proving to be very much so. So that's quite cool to see. And EnVyUs actually got themselves in a very promising position going forward here. 14-13. The money, it's in ruins for North, but they did save an AWP and an M4, so they could drop over UMPs, the surviving CTs, and will they go all in here? I would say probably not, by looks of things, but yeah, okay, so they've left themselves some residual cash. They can still suddenly win this round, some body armor, some upgraded pistols. Don't go all in, though. If you go all in, you're going to almost throw the game before you've even given yourself a chance, but...
Oh. Bye, Xmas. Thanks for playing. Scream's gotten outside quite quickly. This is very quick. Minute and 33, and he's already towards CT.
Yeah, they won't see this coming.
This is easy kills. Sixer gets config as well. This is another round for Envy, I would say, based on that position, but just because below it, which could spoil it a bit because Scream won't exactly know how to handle the situation. And I think Magiska's realized it now. Yep, okay. Okay, it was a MSL, you're right. I thought the last bullet hit it. I was like, I'm surprised by that, but yeah, that's, there you go.
Oh yeah, it looked like a very promising round for EnVyUs there. Scream's position especially, but I think he gave himself away. He used a lot of utility there. He's throwing flashbangs and molotovs to the upper side. Gives away his position. I think if he stayed quiet there, even just goes to a straight up face, he would have probably won that round. But we go into maybe the last round here. You can see the buys coming in. Sixer just on a deagle. Same story for Scream as well. And North are on match point. It's 2 best of 1s here at Pro League. Nades towards up. Smoke a squeaky door. Happy will be trying to find the first pick. Maybe get under the vents here. He gets in successfully. He has not got the bomb though. That's in the hands of RPK. So just going to be trying to split up the CTs here. Could have gone towards outside if he wanted to, but thinks better of it and holds towards control room.
Cajun has to consider his chances of moving the AWP into a more prime position. He won't be able to get the shot into radio, which is very linear unless he acts quickly, because he's still thinking that he may have to cover off the vents in secret and be in position, but now he's got it. If they go back this direction, he's posted. This is why Cajun was looking elsewhere, and now he's going to go back to it. This could be a problem. He's got to look there immediately. Looking the wrong way. Vents get blown out, but it's not a kill because of that. Happy stays with 24. Sting to the arm, and he realizes, I'm not going to stand there much longer. Find a better position instead to wait for his teammates who now get ramp, knowing from that call, though, from that shot that Cajun had relocated. In fact, all the way to the vents themselves. He's gone hunting, and he's found the kill required onto Scream. They're still trying to find out exactly where Happy has gone toward the back of Secret. But Sixer's going to plant the bomb down and potentially play from inside of Toxic. He's got the lineup for it, but Cajun just walks out and catches him. That's so well done from Cajun. 3 kills for him in the round. Happy, the first one he did damage to, the last alive. Pop flash in, opens the door. Molotov goes behind him, but he finds one at control on MSL. Easy. That headshot, if he wasn't ready for that, could have been the end of the round in EnVyUs' favor.
That was actually kind of sick from Happy. Do you see that pop flash he did? Like right clicks it, opens the door, doesn't even go to that position, goes towards window, finds a kill, drops an incendiary down. Could have won the round. That would have been spectacular. But EnVyUs there, a little bit too little too late, I would say, overall. They didn't really arrive in the second half to the very closing sectors. Made it quite exciting in terms of the scoreline, but I think North overall looked like the better team.
Well, that said, North do look like the better team, and they were given a lot of chances in the first half without the weapons required.
Yeah.
Envy falls a little bit short, but I'm still encouraged by what I see, considering they were supposed to just be a second-rate team at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm curious as to what Jason, Chad,
Are you guys
and
friends
lovely
again?
Lauren has to say. Well, I'm always friends with Jason.
Okay, good.
Always friends. That'll never change, Matt. Still mates, forever and always. Yeah, that's a very good win for North. A little bit disappointing because actually Envy looked like they were off to a pretty good start. They had some cool things going on early in the half, but like most of these Danish teams that we see, North finds a way to recover. And yeah, I mean, Henry kind of just takes the words out of my mouth. I mean, Envy doesn't really put up any fight in the second half.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame because it looked like we were going to have a really competitive matchup. You know, the second half was a little underwhelming. At the start, it was like Envy took a really good lead. It was starting to push some of the bigger players to have to come up with more than they used to. It felt like Magisk was being outdone a little bit. You know, Cajun B was a little bit quiet. You're looking there like, where have these guys gone? They've been, headliners, and then they woke up, right? And it was the resurgence. Cajun B seems to be going from strength to strength at the moment. He's found a massive use for himself recently.
Yeah, he's in a good place, and I know we commented on Magisk. Just a little bit unfair sometimes when you see the amount of talent. The way he's able to just stand in ramp room in the open and just knock down 3 or 4 players without even having to get into cover or anything like that.
Yeah, just take those fights over and over again and be so confident. You know, the trading, I was saying if it was like one of us in that same position, we'd get instantly traded.
Yeah.
But the way that Envy ran at him was just one at a time so he could reset, take another duel. Once again, he was able to get that vent control, get out that squeaky door, and the only rounds they were winning on the T side, to be fair, to North was they were force buys, right?
Yeah.
So Envy had a pretty solid CT side, and you saw that from the first gun round. I think we actually have that.
Yeah, we have that clip. I mean, this was just one of the cool things they did at the beginning. I don't think I've seen aggression like this on Nuke.
This is really good.
This new version.
Direct counter, I think, right here. You know, if they didn't go yard and they managed to take full control and those smokes were just a fake, they'd know instantly, and they probably had a plan in place of how to rotate back. So I think they had 4 players, right? We had Sixer up on that garage roof, sitting behind that little...
Yeah, that was the cool part, because it was like, this is why I think this is the first time we've seen this level of aggression outside, is the amount of players that were just staggered in different locations. One pushing up very close, they had Scream in front of the stairs, another player outside, and then they had Sixer up on the roof. So I mean, a lot of different angles that North could have gotten shot from in this round.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to do, and on that bonus round, I guess, you know, they had 1 or 2 UMPs or something like that. So it's a risk you want to take, and that's a good pace-setting maneuver, because if they go to do that again, they think, oh, maybe that aggression's going to come in. How do we adjust for that? Makes them really have to think about it. Then you flipped over. Well, actually, some more stuff from their CT side that was cool. Like Happy playing that aircon position. He played it really cool. He had like a nice line. He got Molotov out of position, smoked him off, found another kill. He was really good in that spot, and Matt was touching it on the desk. It's such a hard position to clear. I'm surprised more players don't play it.
Yeah, I mean, this is now, I mean, Lauren, the Danish teams just seem to have an answer in this map right now. I mean, we talked yesterday, we saw Astralis versus North, Astralis wins that. We saw Astralis versus Heroic, Astralis wins that as well. But North, I mean, you know, this is a team that, as we said yesterday, yesterday or a couple days ago.
Yeah.
This is one of those teams that's always been considered one of the best on Nuke.
Yeah, and it just seems to be sticking that way with them. They had a bit of a contender at the start. We saw a little bit of change. Again, if you're EnVyUs coming into this as well, looking at North, you're going to be able to get information on them. They don't shy away from Nuke, so seeing them coming up with a lot more aggression outside against them was nice. Maybe other teams can find a way to try and exploit that more, try and find holes in this, because people have to start really paying attention to it, because these guys aren't just that other Danish team anymore. They are a huge contender, especially with this map in the pool. So I'm hoping to see maybe a couple more teams come up with ideas of how to break them down.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. One of the things they have in their pocket is MSL, though. We've had a lot of discussion today about in-game leaders, and he certainly seems to be one of the best. I think the big thing for North right now is finding, I guess, consistency maybe is not the perfect word for it, but they're just a team that seems like they should be much better than some of their results suggest. They've had some very good tournament results, but at times they are a little bit inconsistent in they seem to be like Astralis 2.0 to a certain degree.
Well, for me, the biggest thing like leading up to them having some higher highs and the lower lows, it was always the fact of you just want a couple of the players to turn up at the right moments, right? It was like, where's Magis gone in this game? Oh, where's Config gone? You know, it was like, which player's not going to be there for this moment? And then when they actually did arrive, when they did have those big games, you suddenly think, okay, there's a lot of work now that can be put in with this lineup. These guys are starting to hit those real high highs. Cajun B, if he comes back to the form that we saw him dabbling towards in these last couple of games, that becomes even more deadly. He was consistent before, he's fine. He never, shied away, but he seemed to have a big turn up here. You're seeing Magis going from strength to strength. Config seems to be looking decent at the moment. And then we still need to look at the likes of, how does AZ still fit in? So there's so much here to be seen with these guys. Hopefully they get consistent with, I guess, decent performances with their firepower.
Is Cajun going to be the key to that? Cajun staying kind of this force, this third option. We talk about teams that always have some of these power duos, but that third player seems to sometimes be the tipping point. And if a team's going to take that step to the next level, like a third option.
Yeah, I think that the 3 players being star fraggers would definitely help get them there, but I think they're probably right where they should be, around the 5th, 6th position in the world right now.
Yeah.
And then it's almost an any given Sunday thing, as far as I'm concerned, for a lot of teams at this point. These guys, if Config and Mega show up, and then you have Cajun on the orb going off, and AZ and MSL are merely doing their job, they can beat any team in the world. So I think they're where they should be, and I just think maybe converting, like you guys are touching on, to more consistency and making sure that they're putting up the numbers they need to is where they need to go. The thing is, when you have players that are so aggressive, it's hard to be consistent, right? Because sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. So that's why maybe they need to be able to dial it back, but having a player like that, you don't want to leash him too hard, because that's what makes them so successful to this point anyway.
Right. Well, first map does go to North. A nice win for them on Nuke, a map that has been one of their home maps. But when we return, we'll have to see if Envy can do what Fnatic did earlier and bounce back from a first map loss. They're going to be playing North one more time after the break.